Welcome to Gone Fishing. On today's show, your hosts T.J. Schwanke and Bob Kirkpatrick fish the second half of the Premier's Walleye Cup and then head north for some steel line lake trout fishing. On last week's show, Bob and T.J. took us through some pre-fish and day one of the Premier's Walleye Cup at Nipawin, Saskatchewan. Stay tuned for exciting Day 2 action. The shotgun start is one of the most exciting moments of the tournament. 50 high-powered boats heading down the river at full throttle. Day 1 leaders will play it cautious and just be sure to fill all 6 tags. Those that are out of the top placings must hold out for big fish.
Okay, we started out at one of the more popular spots on the river today, and it looks like it got really popular. There were some good weights come out of here yesterday, and I think a lot of people are fishing it for that reason. And the fish have been going really good here this morning. We probably landed 20 here in 20 minutes. So nothing big yet. We've kicked back a couple 18s. We've decided we're not tagging anything under 21 inches until 2 o'clock at least. We need some big weight today, and we're going to hang out for that. We haven't seen a lot of big fish caught yet either. There's, I don't know, there must be 50, 60 boats in this area. So it's getting a lot of pressure. The smaller fish seem to be handling it, and I think if we sit on top of them long enough, we may be able to get a big one. We're marking some decent ones on the sonar, so it's just a matter of sitting on top of them until they decide to bite. As you can see, the fish are really going around here though. Everybody's just popping. They're all smaller fish by the looks of it. Probably the biggest we've seen caught's about a 19-incher today. But Priest keeps weeding through these little ones. Somebody's eventually going to get into the big ones. It's traditionally a big fish spot here, and that's what we're all looking for.
1991 champions Wade Lag and Spider Johnson connect.
This is the first fish, tag. We didn't do anything yesterday for the first hour and a half either.
1990 champion Dave Heath is having his problems after a good first day.
We're still looking for those keepers. We haven't got a big fish yet. We're still digging around for the bigger ones. Caught a lot of little ones so far this morning. There's a lot of boat pressure in here too, so I don't think I'm going to be sticking around too long. End up going down river a little ways, I think. We had pretty good luck there yesterday, and I'm hoping I'm watching my clock because I know what time the fish came up down there yesterday. If they can come up again today at about the same time. We banged 4 nice fish in about a half hour yesterday, just one right after the other, and then that was the only 4 we got decent all day. We spent the rest of the day trying to find 2 more fish, and we never got them. Ended up tagging 15 inches at the end of the day.
What's your weight going into the second?
Right now I got 16.78, almost 17 pounds, so we still got a shot at it. We just gotta, I figure I need at least 25 pounds today to keep me up in the top 10. Probably about matching my weight to stay in the placing.
And how are day 1 leaders, Garth McLean and Clarence Neufeld, doing?
We've got 10 3/4 pounds weight and maybe 2 pounds in the well here. So, well, I guess we could if we got a big fish, but we still got 1 big fish tag open. We got 3 tags left. Keep trying.
Good chance of holding the lead then.
Well, I don't know what's come in for weight. It's been the odd big fish caught, I guess. I don't know who caught it. If it was someone close to us, then we might be in trouble. But I know there's a real morning bite here, and after like 12 o'clock, it gets tough. So hopefully it's tough for everybody.
We can only hope. We threw one just under 2 pounds away. Hopefully that doesn't cost us.
Well, here it is, about noon, day 2 of the tournament. Got 1 fish in the well, about a 4-pounder. We've kicked back 19 and a half and a bunch of 18 inchers, but they're not going to do us a whole lot of good today. We haven't seen a lot of big fish caught, although there has been a few. It's really hot out. I mean, it's got to be well over 30 Celsius. The fish seem to be taking an ultra slow presentation. We're just drifting super slow with a rig. We have one bead and just a leech. And that seems to be what's catching the fish. So a little earlier they were going a little more aggressively, but they've really slowed down now that it's got hot out, and I think it's probably going to get tougher as the day goes on. So we're just going to keep covering water, and hopefully we can fill the remaining 5 tags. We need some big fish today.
U.S. professionals Gary Parsons and Keith Cavaias are having a tough time too.
Trying to slip with the current. So of course we don't have much current yet. Hopefully that'll, usually our fishing will pick up once the current picks up. So.
It has all come down to the final weigh-in. The winner of the 1992 Premier's Walleye Cup will soon be decided.
It got tough, but we tagged a 15-incher just a little bigger right at the, just before we take off. So we got our 6.
Oh, we didn't quite do it today. We're not supposed to bring these back in, but...
Well, lots of fish today, but nothing big. Lots of small fish. We got our 6. I don't know what we have, maybe 12 or 14 pounds. It's going to give us close to 30, 28, 30 pounds. I don't know if we're in there or not. Have to go up and have a look.
Team number 70, Bob Kirkpatrick and David Deutscher, yesterday, 14.98 pounds.
6 fish, no penalties.
6 fish, no penalties. Bobby kept them alive all alive today. They're all going back in the lake after this one.
Large bass.
Big fish?
3.50.
3.50. Let's all love that
Total weight.
Total weight today,
13.90.
13.90 pounds.
1 fish, no penalties.
Thank you.
Team number 16, John Fitz, Tim Buckley.
The final tallies are complete, and
What's a good word here? First prize, Clarence Neufeld and Garth McLean, Saskatoon.
Well, Bob, we had an incredible tournament here at Nipawin, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did. Look at this cup. Geez, I'm going to be glad when my name is sitting right here. Oh,
Thanks for holding that for us, guys.
So we got the winners here. We got Garth and Clarence from Saskatoon. Now, they had an incredible tournament. What'd you guys end up weighing?
47.97.
47.97 pounds. That's incredible. We want to talk to you a little bit about what you did. I know I said I wanted my name right there. Maybe next year. I've been here all 5 years. It's an incredible tournament. We've had a lot of fun. You guys, you did a great job out there. You were in the lead after the first day, and you held it for the second day, and that's something that doesn't happen a lot of times. You going to share some of your secrets with us?
I think we probably could now. We Lindy rigged the whole tournament. We had one stretch of river channel that we fished, and slow seemed to work, and we caught our fish early. There's a real morning bite here, and we were able to get some good fish early, and that's what did it for us.
So what kind of bait were you using?
Leeches.
Leeches? Leeches all?
All leeches, yeah.
What size weights were you using on your Lindy rigs?
We just used a 3/8 ounce weight, and we were using about a 30-inch snell. And they were real finicky though. You'd get a light tap, and then you'd have to lead them for about 10, 12 feet a line before you set the hook.
Now, you guys got a couple of big fish yesterday, didn't you?
Yes.
What was the big weight yesterday? What was your
Biggest weight yesterday was 8.03, and the next one was 7.5, I believe.
Now, I was fishing beside you this morning and watched you pop 2 right early, but there was one pretty decent one there too.
Yeah, my partner caught that, and he took it up and weighed it, so I'm not sure exactly what that one weighed.
The big one was 5.52. They were both 24 inches, like right on the slot limit, and we needed to know if they were under or over to know that we still had a big fish tag open, and it turned out one was under, one was over.
Well, that's a great way to start. I mean, that was in the first hour this morning. You guys kind of had it all together before it really got going.
It really took the pressure off us to get a couple good fish in the well early. To hold the lead and go out and fish for 4 hours and not have a fish in the well would really make it that much tougher, but this was just a big boost. We knew then that if we filled our kegs, we had a good shot.
Now, I watched you guys out there too a little bit, and I think boat control played a big part in what you were doing.
A little bit. We tried to stay on the edge of the channel. That seemed to, last year we did fairly well doing that, and that's where the fish seem to be, just where the river channel starts to drop off from the flats.
You were fishing at what, 13, 15 foot level?
15 to 18 feet.
Well, there was a pile of boats in there this morning. There must have been, half the field must have been in that area this morning. I guess everyone knew that's where the big weights came from yesterday. In fact, some of the other big fish from yesterday came out of there too, didn't they?
A few of them did, and actually we arrived in one of the later flights this morning, and we're quite surprised to see as many people there. But that's the way the fishing game goes, and you got to work around that.
Well, on a small river like this, where you don't have a huge area to go around, it's pretty easy to follow boats around to find out who's winning and where the big fish are coming from. Anyways, guys, congratulations. It's been a great
thank you very much.
And I'm sure you're going to be here next year to defend your title. Like I said, my name will be there sometime.
Make the presentations. All right, have you got any big tips or good words for us today?
No big tips. We found that a slower presentation worked the best. We caught all our fish in the rigging.
Great. I agree. It was a tough day, but it was good. All right, let's give them another hand, folks. Newfield, McLean, Saskatoon. Hey, Ivan.
Do you have any questions or comments on Gone Fishin'? If you do, we'd love to hear from you. Send your comments to Gone Fishin', care of Box 421, Cabri, Saskatchewan, SONOJO, or fax Gone Fishin' at 306-587-2603.
Today we're on Lac La Plonge, and we're going to be doing some steel lining for lake trout. We're out with Ed Shilley. He's one of the local experts.
Now, we've been out here for about 4 or 5 minutes. This is the second fish. This is just going to be fabulous. Are we ever looking forward to some great action out here? Ed, no doubt you know your stuff on the steel line. We're sure going to learn a lot today, I'm sure.
Well, thank you very much, guys, and we'll see if we can get some bigger ones than that.
Let's get back at it.
Back in the water and get on and get some big ones. There he goes.
We're fishing with steel line here today, and there's a few reasons we're using steel line. It's midsummer and the fish are quite deep. We're fishing anywhere from 80 to 110 feet. Now the reason for the steel line, it's much thinner diameter than mono, plus it's heavier, so it helps get our, whatever we're using, today we're using spoons, it helps get them down a lot quicker, so we don't have to have as much line out. And the other added advantage of it, it gives you a lot more feel. Now if we had 200 or 300 feet of mono out behind us with a heavy weight on it, we wouldn't be able to feel as good, and when the fish struck, there'd be a lot of stretch trying to set that hook. So with the steel line, you're in direct contact with the fish. And we're using about 6 or 8 ounces of weight, so it's not a whole lot of weight to fish the depths that we are. So steel lining it's another excellent method of catching summertime trout. Now we've showed you down rigging before, and some other methods of getting down, but steel line is just another method that you can use. Now it can't be used on every lake. Now if you get into the shield lakes where it's quite a bit rockier or things like that, you can end up hung up on the bottom a lot. Now this lake here, we're on Lac La Plonge, it has a nice sandy bottom with just some smaller rocks, so we can drag this offering right along the bottom and stir up those trout and get them to bite.
Ed, you've been fishing with steel line for quite a while out here on La Plonge, haven't you?
Yep, 13 years now.
And you were telling me you're probably the only guy out here that uses steel line?
Yeah, very few guys use it. Other than in the spring, there's a few guys that use it in the 35 and 40 foot level and tend to get the bigger fish too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I heard back at the camp that I know you're one of the only guys that uses steel line, but you're also known for catching most of the biggest fish in the lake too.
Yeah, I've been lucky that way, and I find that on average, with the steel line, we do we do tend to get the bigger fish. And the reason more than would be we're fishing the bottom, and I think the bigger fish do lay down on the bottom during in the summer months when they're in the deeper part of the lake.
I know we're dragging these weights right along the bottom, and so our spoons are, within the bottom foot or so. And with a downrigger, you can't do that. The level changes so much that you can't keep adjusting the downrigger ball all the time. So they're pretty well stuck at certain depths, aren't they?
Certain level, yeah. Like we're fishing along the reef that's running from 75 to 160 feet. So we can stay pretty well on the bottom all the time, where they can't if they're running crossways to across the reef.
Now, a couple of little techniques you were telling me about, just popping the line like this every once in a while. What is that actually doing?
Well, it gives the lure looks like a dead fish fluttering, or when it comes ahead fast and then drops back down to the bottom. And I find that the trout will be following your lure, and they will, when the lure starts to fall back, they will pick it up then.
So sometimes just a change of speed or a change of action on the lure will trigger the strike then?
Yep, that's for sure, yeah.
Well, there's lots of little tricks with the steel line, and I know you know them all. We're going to get you to share a few of them with us a little later on.
Well, I'll try anyway. Slow them down if you... because we'll have to allow him to release his air so you can release them.
Okay.
When you bring them out of that deeper water, the air sac expands when you come up too fast.
Lake trout have a pretty efficient air bladder compared to most fish, though, don't they?
Very much, yeah.
You'll be able to, when it's so calm like this, you'll be able to see them burp, see the bubbles come up.
And if you were to bring a walleye or something out of these depths, you would not be able to adjust.
You can see these fish a long ways down. This water is crystal clear. Look at that.
There, you're starting to get some weight there now. Get some drag.
Do you think you get to enjoy the steel lining?
I do. This is my first time doing it. I never thought there was much to it, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of learning here. We're out with probably one of the best in the province here today. I know I've learned a lot. I'd like to put this in some other applications other than lake trout, although it is very good for this.
You see him yet, Bob?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's still down there pretty good. I haven't seen any bubbles come up.
There they come there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I was just pumping that rod every now and then, and I just pumped it and let it back and he hit. And quite often with any type of fish, that'll seem to trigger a strike.
That's 2 hits in 5 minutes. I may switch lures. Oh, there he is. Nice fish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Way to go.
Nice fish, TJ. Not hooked too bad.
Well, these lake trout are really primarily sight feeders, and we're using some pretty flashy spoons down today, and like I said before, that pumping the rod triggers that sight instinct, and they just go in there, and I'll tell you, when they hit, you got to be hanging on to that rod. Get him back in the water, and we'll...
He's lots of different colors in him. There's purples and browns and greens. He's sure in good shape, too.
Yeah.
Well, let's get him back. It didn't take long to get back down there.
Let him go, let him grow.
You bet. Let's try that again, Ed.
Okay.
It's time now for Pokey's Pro Tips.
Well, as you can see, the weather's changed a little bit, and the lightning blew us off the lake. We had to get off there. There was lots of lightning, and it's not a very good idea to be out on the lake with a storm coming like this. In fact, we even saw a lightning strike that started a new forest fire. So we ran the storm, got to shore just before it started, and we brought Ed in here to kind of go over some of the tackle and techniques that we were using today out in the lake.
Okay, first of all, this is the the older style reels. They call them Volkswagen rim, I guess you could call it that. These are a knuckle buster. They don't have a brake on them. In their day, they were very effective, but now we've gone to Penn reels with the 5-to-1 retrieve with the star drags on them, and this particular unit we're using 16-pound test steel line on it. Now I have another smaller Penn reel with it's a 320, and it's a 4.5-to-1 retrieve, and I run 10-pound test steel line on it. Now the 10-pound test is very, very thin, and it cuts through the water quite nicely, and is a lot less drag on your equipment when you're going down. Now we try to troll between 1.8 or 2 miles an hour. The slower the better, for the simple reason that we can use a lot less weight then to get down in 85 to 90 feet of water. One of the other pieces of equipment we have is about a 6-ounce weight, and behind the weight I run about between 3 and 4 feet of monofilament line with a snap swivel on it. That way, in case you get hooked up on the bottom, generally the monofilament will break and you'll just lose your lure. Because the steel line is very hard to break, and generally you'll lose more line than what you want to. And my favorite lures, one-eyed wobbler, the silver, which use extensively in the deeper water, and I also use a pink embroidered white lure. These probably look more like a fish fluttering in the water when you're fishing with them and pump the rod, and so they're most effective in the deep water, as I find. Along with that, like generally we do get a lot larger fish when we fish the bottom of the lake, because most of the big ones stay down in the deeper water during the summer, right along the bottom.
Now the rods themselves are also specially designed for steel line fishing, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah. We have, on the end of the rods, there's a spring tip on the end of the rod, and when you're pumping the rod, it keeps from kinking the line and breaking it. Otherwise, you'd lose a lot of your lures just up by the end of your rod here. These are a medium action rod for the steel line, and very effective.
Good things by the sound of that thunder we're not out there anymore too.
I'm glad to be in here.
We've really enjoyed fishing with Ed. The man is just a wealth of knowledge. I'd never steel lined before, and I know Bob had only done it a couple times. And we learned so much. It's a technique that I have a whole new respect for. I always thought it was one of those techniques that people did when they didn't know how to fish, and I've learned so much. And I can see a lot of other applications for this, especially on walleye, trolling crankbaits. So I just like to thank Ed, and until next time, we're gone fishing.
Make sure you join us next time on Gone Fishing.
Gone Fishing would like to send out a special thanks to Kingfisher Inn, Paramark Confectionery, and Lakeland Leisure.